Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, HaKakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. This is the brother Yakanan from the GMS Houston camp, and this is just a quick lesson going into the times that we're in. You know, the digital ID is being introduced, and this is just a precursor to the MOTB. The system is being put into place as to what's going to be. And so while these things are being introduced, you know, you're being introduced into biometrics, implantable technology, you know, digital identities. These are all a part of what Esau Edom, the so-called white man, and then also who Revelation 13:16, which I'm going to be focusing on this lesson, is referring to, and how he's bringing this to pass. You know, this, if you're watching, you know, you're not missing anything. You're not missing the beat. You're on top of it. You see these things being set up, and we're warning the people. You know, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone on down. So that's enough of me rambling. This is the video. You know, I got two videos that I pulled off of Instagram, and shoot, let's go. I guess I gotta refresh it. All right, so I'm having some technical difficulties, you know, playing these things, but you know what? Let me try to refresh this one more time, and then we'll. If it don't want to play, hey, we're moving on.
Completely flat out refuse to get a digital ID, will those people be fined?
No, there's no, this is not something you have to carry or have to produce or anything like that, and there'll be no fining of people for not having it. It'll be something which simply makes life a lot easier.
The Prime Minister faced criticism for his digital ID policy, with some people accusing him of presiding over a nanny state. However, today, at an exclusive event, Keir Starmer clarified what the digital ID might actually mean for the public.
For people who don't have a mobile phone, then this isn't mandatory, so you don't have to have it. It will make your life easier if you want it, but you don't have to have it. We're consulting on what other forms of ID would help them. Again, it won't be mandatory. You can still use your passport or your birth certificate or your 3 bank accounts if you want, however many times. You can choose to pay £85 to a company to prove that you are who you are every time you need to. Or you can take the easy route, which is get digital ID.
So Keir Starmer claims digital ID is the easy route. But if there's no fine against not having one, would you take it up?
Now, there's some interesting things that he just mentioned. He mentioned it's not going to be mandatory. It's not going to be mandatory. But if you want to pay using certain companies, it's going to cost you. You know, the way it's being set up is, and also that it's convenience. It's going to be easy. You can take the easy route, go digital, or go the hard way. So it's going to be made increasingly difficult for you if you don't, you know, go the way that they're going. You know, just the way things are being set up. It's going to be more difficult for you. You know, it's already difficult to pay with cash. You know, you go to an ATM, the ATM's out of money. You know, you go to certain places, it's cash only. You go to pay at the register. Oh, we can't take cash right now. There's a change shortage, whatever they make up. It's making it increasingly difficult, like I said, for you to use the old way. You know, I got this next video. This is
December, Google is also prepared to launch its own version, letting people store a verified passport in their phone's digital wallet. Supporters say it'll cut hassle, but opponents
you know what? I think it's already. Let me restart this video.
argue. You might be buying a pint with your phone instead of a physical ID by the end of the year. The government wants to let people prove their age with a digital ID, marking the first step towards a wider national identity system. This means means pubgoers will be able to confirm they're over 18 by tapping their phone or scanning a QR code like using Apple Pay. The system confirms you're over 18 without showing personal details like your birthday or where you live. Ministers say it'll make checks faster and safer, but critics warn it's a Trojan horse, or a much bigger digital ID system that could one day be mandatory for all workers, not just buying alcohol. The Home Office says the tech will use encryption and biometrics like face or fingerprint scans. Pubs and shops will be allowed to accept approved digital IDs as soon as December. Google is also prepared to launch its own version, letting people store a verified passport in their phone's digital wallet. Supporters say it'll cut hassle, but opponents argue it risks paving the way for mass surveillance. So, digital convenience or the start of something bigger? Let us know what you think.
Now, you're already in a state of mass surveillance. It's just going to be increased. You have cameras watching everywhere along the highways. The speed traps. Them speed trap cameras ain't just for to catch you speeding. They're tracking, your plates. You got cameras set up everywhere, facial recognition. Your phone tracks you. The apps in the phone track you. You're being tracked everywhere. So you shouldn't be too surprised that this devil wants to continue in his encroachment of your human liberties. Your human. This devil wants to be a god over you. He wants to know everything, what you're thinking, how you breathing, if you breathing too much, what you eating. Oh, you're eating too much. Deduct that. Carbon credits. All this. This devil wants to be the Most High, like it says in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. But this is let me see here. I had a few words to go into because the first video, he keeps mentioning it's not going to be a mandate. It's not mandated, which this is a mandate from the Edom Online. It says a command, a judicial or legal order. So basically, to work around this, they're not officially coming out with any, laws like you have to have this or whatever. But what they're doing is making it to where you have to have this while it's not officially on the books. It's more of a coercion, which I'll get that other word. And I'll continue reading this because I thought this was kind of interesting. It says commission, a command, order, and then also to order to commit to one's charge, literally to give into one's hand. So probably for Manus, but it's literally given into the hand. Like, let's go here, from here. This is a divine order. What's happening. Yeah, they're not coming out outright with laws, but the earth, I'll just get it. This is Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So Yahweh Shem Yahushai mandated, he allowed, because Yahweh Shem Yahushui's word is law. You got to do it. Whatever Yahweh Shem Yahushai commands, you're going to do it. So Yahweh Shem Yahushai has given the earth into the hands of the wicked. And what is he going to do? Wickedness. It says he covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So the judges, starting with the Heavenly Father, his son Yahushai, changing their names, changing their likeness. Just look at Renaissance paintings. Renaissance meaning rebirth. This devil has changed the faces of the Most High, the Supreme Judge, his son Yahushai, changed their names, changed their likeness, like I mentioned, changed the angels, changed the people of the Lord, replaced the people of the Lord with, tiny tops, Amalek. This devil has gone far and beyond, and he wants to replace the Most High entirely with him being the Most High. So you're seeing this being set up, but I just like that connection, that the mandate given into the hands of the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So the wicked is going to be doing, whatever he sees fit. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. And it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bonds, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So, and we go over this word mark all the time. That's a charagma, meaning an imprinted mark, something that's like a stamp, a badge of servitude. How you brand cattle, horses, how you brand livestock, meaning that mark that's on them signifies the owner of that property. And so this mark here, which is the RFID micro C-HIP, and then also it will be implanted in your hand or in your head, will be a signifier that you are completely down with this system 100%. So I'm going to look at this word. I'm not going to go into the word mark, just went into it just now. Let's go look at that word COSF. This is G4160, Poi Ao. And it says to make or do in a very wide application. Let me go here. Let me jump here. To make, and I'm going to jump down to number 9. To make one do something, to cause one to do it, to cause one to be the authors of a thing, to cause to bring about. So that here, to make one do something, they're making you do something. They're gonna make you take this, started with the digital ID by making it increasingly more difficult to do things. Oh, you want to buy alcohol? Oh, you don't have a digital ID? Dang, we only take the digital ID. We only take the biometrics. But you want to do this or whatever? Yeah, it's not mandated. It's not a law, but hey, you just can't do it without it. There's not going to be any fines, but the fine is going to be, you're going to have to pay extra. The fine is, you're not going to be able to participate. So, just that, and I'm going to get to the next one. I'm not trying to not jump the gun, but again, and he causeth all, both small and great, meaning he makes them do it. He causes them to do it. Like with the suggestion, like the serpent with Eve, ye shall not surely die. Look, ain't nothing gonna happen to you. It's all good. It's just this is the devil you dealing with. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. You know what? I never looked at that word receive. This is G1325, D domai, and it's to give something to someone. Of one's own accord, to give one something. To grant, to give one to give over, to deliver, to reach out, to extend, to give over to one's care and trust, something to it be administered, to give or commit to someone or something, to give what is due or obligatory to pay. To give one to someone as his own, as an object of his saving care, to give one to someone to follow him as a leader and master, to give one to someone to care for his interests, to give one to someone to whom he already belonged, or to return, to grant or to permit. So, yeah, that fits. That's going to be your wages, all that. But anyway, Revelation 13:16 again, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So nobody's going to be able to buy or sell. You're not going to be able to participate. Like how it's saying, if you want to do things the easy way, get this biometrics, which the digital ID is not the MOTB. It's going to be implanted in you. Just because you have it on your cell phone, you have the digital ID in your cell phone, that don't mean you have the MOTB. But anyway, here I'm going to jump up. Verse 15, speaking of this beast power, there was this revived Roman Empire that's set up. In verse 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. What you're seeing is this revived Roman Empire living. This is what you're seeing through the infrastructure that has been set up. The Senates and the NATO, EU, This entire system is modeled after Rome. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So this beast is now speaking. Like it starts off at the beginning. I think around verse 2. Now it says, is it verse 2? Oh, no. I'm sorry. It's verse... no. Where is it? It's around verse 11. 11, Slacky. It says, Revelation 13 and verse 11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So you're seeing this beast speaking. It's coming out peacefully, like it means no harm, but now you're seeing it speak as a dragon. Like you've seen these Edomites, speak in the last few weeks, speaking boldly. Y'all have never created anything, this, that, whatever. And look, what Trump said the other day is like, look, we're not gonna. What did he say? Basically, talking about the drug dealers, that we're just gonna kill them. That's it. This is how this devil's gonna come down on you. So this is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15 again. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So while they're saying now it's not a man-made, it's not this or that, whatever, eventually you are going to be enemy of the state for refusing this. So just moving on, because this is being forced. While it's not coming out outright, there's no laws, we're not forcing you to do this, but we're forcing you to do this. So this is coercion from the Wiktionary, and it says, let me see, from the past participle coercitus of coercio, to restrain or coerce, from with archeo or arcio or archeo, to shut in, to enclose. So you're being shut in. Meaning meaning with being shut in. So you're being shut in. Like a fence being built around you. That's the system. It's enclosing you. You're being trapped. The more you rely on this, the more you rely on Egypt, the more you're going to be trapped. Your freedom is through Yahushua. So this is an actual or threatened force for the purpose of compelling action by another person, the act of coercing. So actual or threatened force. So yeah, it's not gonna be mandatory, but you're gonna have to pay extra. This, that, whatever. You're not gonna be able to buy alcohol. Whatever it may be, you're being coerced into this. Look, we didn't make the laws, but these companies, they're charging that. So if you want to pay cash or not use your digital, ID, you want to use a regular ID, well, there's a processing fee, whatever they make up. It says the use of physical or moral force to compel a person to do something or to abstain from doing something, thereby depriving that person of the exercise of free will, which you don't have free will. Everything that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai wrote for us to do has already been mapped out. Everything has been mapped out already. Everything that you're going to do, have done, and will do. Whatever you're doing right now, the Most High, guess what, wrote that in your story. It says the use of physical or moral force, so it's going to be moral. Which is not really, ain't got no morals. They're using, they're using the power that's in their hand. It's not going to be physical now, but it's going to get physical. Like it said in verse 15. So I'm going to move on from here. I'm going to close out with this. This is Micah 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds, because this is a very evil thing. These are very evil times. These are perilous times that we're in. People are losing their wits. People are losing their cools. People are narcissists. The love of many is waxing cold. So these are very dangerous times that we're in, and it's only going to get worse. You know, the SNAP benefits, all this stuff is running out, and we're waiting to see, you know, what Jake is going to do, what's going to pop off. You know, how the stores are going to close. We're waiting to see what's going to come of this, because everything here in Babylon the Great is being set up to, you know, usher in this beast system. So we're just watching. So, and this has all been, how do you say, devised by different councils, you know, different summits, different meetings, by many different groups all working in unison, you know, to take out the Israelites and get this beast system going. So they think they're going to rule forever. So this is all been set up. So woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. So now they devise these plans, which have been years in the making, and you're seeing them being executed now. So verse 2, and they covet fields, you will own nothing and be happy, and take them by violence, and houses. You can't buy, can't sell without this mark. If you have the digital ID, you're left out. You don't have it. I'm slacking. You know, the system, you know, we have companies that buy up, you know, houses and leave them vacant, buy up entire neighborhoods. And all this stuff is by design, you know, to create a shortage, to force you into this new system, to where you're looking at a tiny home that costs as much as a house did back in the early 2000s. You spending $100,000, $200,000 for a fucking doghouse. You know, and you're being told that you're saving the environment because of this. And they covet fields and take them by violence and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. So therefore, thus saith Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which he shall not remove your necks, neither shall you go haughtily, for this time is evil. So, even though Esau, Edom, these different nations are working hand in hand, the evil is coming. You think this is you think you're about to fill your belly, but you about to be sadly, mistaken. Which ain't nobody gonna pity you. It ain't gonna be sad. This is gonna be a beautiful moment in the history of the Israelites to see the enemy of the world, the enemy of all life being brought down when Yahweh Shai cracks them clouds. But hey, Lord willing, this has been edifying. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem HaKachodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Shalom.